Hey everyone, this is Unlock24, and today we're going to be talking about this new card getting added in the next 16th main box, and that's going to be Sakuretsu Armor. Sakuretsu Armor, a lot of people are freaking out about it. They're thinking that it's going to be way too broken, and that it's going to make the game unbalanced, and all of this, and everything else. So if you don't know what Sakuretsu Armor does, is when an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster and destroy that target. It's extremely similar to Widespread Ruin. Widespread Ruin, when an opponent monster declares an attack, destroy the attack position monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. Your choice if they're tied. So they're extremely similar. The only difference is that the Widespread Ruin destroys the highest attacking monster. So if your opponent has two monsters and he attacks with the lowest attacking first, then the biggest one will get destroyed. Sakuretsu Armor, you get to decide which monster gets destroyed whenever it attacks. Another difference that they have is that Widespread Ruin does not target, whereas Sakuretsu Armor does. You do have to target the monster that is attacking. So that does make a difference in some cases, especially when more cards get released. I think it's gonna depend on how you want to play the game, and basically if you want to target or not target, it's the card that you're going to basically run. In Duel Links, you don't really see that many monsters out at the same time, and if you're already seeing more than two monsters at the same time, you're most likely going to lose. No Widespread Ruin is going to help you. At that point, the opponent is way higher when it comes to card advantage, so a Widespread Ruin isn't really going to help you. Now, I think people are just freaking out. There's a ton of other cards that are way worse than Sakuretsu Armor. If you look at the most of the top tier and quotation marks of trap cards that we have, there's a ton of cards that are way worse. First of all, of course, Mirror Wall. Mirror Wall was basically one of the first or second boxes. And Mirror Wall can just completely stop the opponent. It doesn't completely stop it, but it does make it to where they do have to think about it, especially if you have monster set, or if you have something in face-up attack position, even if it's a weak monster. Mirror Wall, whenever the monster attacks, their attack is halved. And I think this is way more powerful than what Sakuretsu Armor does, because if your opponent attacks into a attack position monster and you Mirror Wall, it could be enough for you to win the game. Whereas Sakuretsu Armor, it just destroys its monster, and that's basically it. Mirror Wall has a ton of advantage over it, and you do have the option to keep it up for another turn by paying 2,000 life points. Overall, Mirror Wall is way worse than what Sakuretsu Armor can do, and I think people are just freaking out for no apparent reason. The next one, Wall of Disruption. Again, if you're new to the game, Wall of Disruption is extremely annoying, and it does, I think, provide a level of skill whenever Wall of Disruption's in the game. I don't think it should be taken out of the game, because then if you take it out of the game, there's really going to be no point in the game other than just summoning big monsters and attacking. Same goes with the Mirror Wall. With a Wall of Disruption, you have to have that knowledge of the game too. Whereas you can read whether he has a Wall of Disruption. You can play mind tricks. You can do a ton of things with Wall of Disruption and Mirror Wall. And I don't think it should be taken out of the game, but I think it's way worse than Sakuretsu Armor. And it punishes your opponent a ton more than what Sakuretsu Armor does. Sakuretsu Armor just gets one of their monsters destroyed, whereas a correctly timed Wall of Disruption can completely destroy your opponent's field, especially if all of the monsters that they have are in attack position. They attack into a Wall of Disruption and they basically have nothing on the field. All of their attack goes to 0, especially if they're under 24. And in Duel Links, that basically wins you the game, unless you, for some reason, have some god tier draw next game or next hand, which I highly doubted. Wall of Disruptions by itself wins games, and the same goes for the other card, Curse of Anubis, and and Windstorm of Atakwa. these two cards, I don't see that many people play them, and those two cards can win you the game by themselves. Also, whenever your opponent has a ton of monsters up in attack position, or if they have a monster that you can't basically compete with, if it has a huge attack point, and you really can't get over it, Windstorm and Curse of Anubis are just extremely good. And again, I don't see why not that many people are playing it. They're game-winning cards. They give you a ton of advantage. It switches all of or most of their monsters to defense position, especially if they're all in attack mode. And the same goes for Curse of Anubis. Almost every monster out there is an effect monster. And again, if you haven't heard about this card, you change all effect monsters on the field to defense position. And to the end of this turn, the original defense of those monsters becomes 0. Also, their battle position cannot be changed. Again, this card is extremely good. I think it is a little bit better than Sakuretsu Armor. It doesn't destroy their monsters, but it does switch them to defense mode. Same thing with Windstorm. And I think that they're just... I don't know why people are freaking out about the Sakuretsu Armor and that the game is pay to win. When you have cards like Curse of Anubis and Windstorm that are available to you, they're basically free, and you don't really have to put many gems or anything into getting them. But if you really do think that Sakuretsu Armor is going to do something, which I highly doubt, you can always run Jinso. Jinso is a free card, especially if you're a free-to-play player. It's free to you. If you've been playing for a while, you most likely have 2 copies of it. You can always do Trap Jammers. Trap Jammers, actually, it's another extremely easy to get card. It's a rare, and then of course the one that you do have to pay for would be 7 Tools of the Bandit. All of those basically negate any trap card that is played. Trap Jammer has to be during the battle phase, which most of them are, and 7 Tools can just be whenever, and then Jinso just points out and negates everything. Another honorable cards I could mention that are kind of worse than Sakuretsu. So again, Floodgate Trap Hole, Paleozoic Canadia. This card, I think it should be played a little bit more. This is basically a Book of Moon in trap form, and I think it has a ton of utility. You do have to play, I think, a more skilled base deck in order to play Paleozoic Canadia effectively, and you do need to know what exactly it is that you're doing in order for you to get a full advantage of what this card can do. But overall, in conclusion, my opinion is that Sakuretsu Armor isn't really going to change much of anything. We still have way worse cards in the game that do way more than Sakuretsu Armor will ever be able to do. And again, I think if you really need to be scared of something, it's that you need to be scared of Dragoonides. I think Dragoonides are going to be extremely good. Phalanx with a spell card, being able to draw 2 cards, they're going to be extremely fast. And I think that's the only thing that you need to worry, other than I'm not really sure how Blackwings are going to do, but we'll just have to wait and see. The card or the box does get released on Sunday. It's usually in the afternoon around 7ish, 6ish. So do check on Sunday, and I'm pretty sure I will be doing some pack openings, so do check back. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. And if you do have any comments, do leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you are enjoying my content, do subscribe.